You wake up. The alarm hasn't even gone off yet, but something already feels wrong. Maybe your legs feel heavy, like they were filled with sand overnight. Maybe your feet are stiff before they even touch the floor. Maybe there's that dull ache in your lower back that wasn't there 5 years ago. Or maybe you just feel exhausted, even though you slept, and you lie there for a moment staring at the ceiling, thinking, why does getting out of bed feel so hard now? Here's what most people do. They shake it off. They call it age. They make a cup of tea, push through the morning, and try not to think about it too much. But here's what very few people know. The way you feel in the first few minutes after waking up, that moment right before you stand, right before the day begins, that is one of the clearest signals your body sends you, and most people are completely missing it. These morning sensations are not random. They are not just tiredness. They are not simply getting older. They are messages, and your body has been sending them, quietly, perhaps for months. Many people don't realize that what happens in those first waking moments can reveal a great deal about what is going on inside, with your circulation, your joints, your nervous system, and yes, even your heart. Today, I'm going to break it down, simply, clearly, and honestly. No complicated medical terms, no scare tactics, just the truth about what your body may be trying to tell you every single morning. Watch until the end, because what comes next may completely change the way you start your day and the way you think about your health. Let's start with something very simple, something you've probably never been told directly. Your body does not rest the same way every night. While you sleep, your blood is still moving, your muscles are still working, your nerves are still sending quiet signals from one end of your body to the other. Sleep is not silence inside you. It is actually one of the busiest times your body has. And when something is not quite right, when circulation is struggling, when inflammation is quietly building, when nerves are not getting what they need, the body doesn't always shout during the day. It whispers, and it does most of its whispering at night. So by the time morning comes, those whispers have turned into feelings. Stiffness, heaviness, that strange tingling in the feet, the swollen fingers that take time to loosen, the knee that protests before you've even stood up, the back that feels 10 years older than the rest of you. Now here is something important. These feelings are not punishments. They are not signs that you are broken or that things are beyond repair. They are signs that your body is working hard, but not getting enough support. Think about what happens to a garden hose left out in the cold overnight. In the morning, the water inside moves slowly. It takes time to flow freely again. Your blood vessels work in a similar way. During the night, especially in the legs, the lower back, and the feet, circulation naturally slows. And in people over 50, this slowdown becomes more noticeable, more significant, more felt. But here is where it gets interesting. And this is where many people make a very costly mistake. They assume the stiffness is coming from the muscles, so they stretch. Or they assume the swelling is from too much salt, so they cut back on food. Or they assume the fatigue is from poor sleep, so they change their pillow. And sometimes those things help a little. But the real issue, the thing sitting underneath all of those symptoms, often goes completely unaddressed. Because what most morning symptoms actually point to is something deeper. Something that builds silently over months and years. Something connected not just to one part of the body, but to the entire system that keeps your blood moving, your nerves firing, and your joints nourished. And when that system is under stress, you feel it most clearly in one specific moment of the day. The moment you wake up. So let's talk about what is actually happening inside your body during those first few minutes. Because once you understand this, everything else starts to make sense. And more importantly, you'll know exactly what to do about it. Here is something that will surprise you. The human body has a natural internal clock. You've probably heard of it, the circadian rhythm. But what most people don't know is that this internal clock doesn't just control when you feel sleepy or awake. It controls your blood pressure. It controls inflammation levels. It controls how well your joints receive fluid and nutrition overnight. It controls how your nerves recover and reset. And between roughly 3 in the morning and 7 in the morning, your body goes through its most intense internal shift of the entire day. Blood pressure begins rising. Cortisol, your body's natural wake-up hormone, starts climbing. Your heart begins preparing to work harder. Your muscles are asked to switch from rest mode into movement mode. All of this happens before you even open your eyes. Now in a younger, healthier body, this transition is smooth, almost invisible. You wake up, you move, and within minutes, everything is flowing normally. But in a body that is dealing with poor circulation, chronic low-grade inflammation, weakened veins, or nerve sensitivity, this morning transition becomes a struggle. The system tries to shift gears, but something resists. And that resistance, that friction in the shift, is exactly what you feel as stiffness, heaviness, swelling, and pain. This is very important, so let it sink in for a moment. Your morning symptoms are not the problem itself. They are the evidence of a problem that has been building quietly, often for a long time, inside your vascular system, your connective tissue, or your peripheral nerves. And here is something that many people find deeply uncomfortable to hear. Waiting for it to go away on its own is one of the most dangerous things you can do. Not because catastrophe is coming tomorrow, but because the body is incredibly patient. It compensates, it adjusts, it finds ways to keep functioning even when something is wrong. And this is both a gift and a trap. Because by the time the symptoms become impossible to ignore, by the time the swelling doesn't go down, the pain doesn't ease, the fatigue doesn't lift, the issue has usually been present for far longer than anyone realized. So what does this mean for you, practically, in your everyday life? It means that those quiet mornings, the ones where you sit at the edge of the bed, rubbing your feet, waiting for your legs to feel like yours again, those mornings are telling you something real, something worth listening to. Now let's talk about what actually helps, not in theory, not in complicated medical terms, but in a way that makes sense for real daily life, for someone who wakes up each morning in their own home, follows their own routine, and simply wants to feel better. The first thing, and this catches most people off guard, is not what you do in the morning. It is what you do the evening before. Your body's ability to transition smoothly from sleep into wakefulness depends enormously on what happened in the hours before you went to bed. Were your legs elevated, or were they hanging down for hours? Were you sitting still for most of the evening, or did you move, even gently? Did you drink enough water? Or did you end the day dehydrated, leaving your blood thicker and slower than it should be? These evening habits are quietly shaping your mornings, and most people have never connected the two. There is also the question of warmth. In colder months especially, and for anyone living somewhere where evenings turn cool, the lower body loses heat faster than most people realize. Cold muscles contract, cold veins narrow, cold feet in the night mean stiff, painful feet in the morning. Something as simple as keeping the legs and feet warm overnight can make a measurable difference in how you feel when you wake up. And then, there is something even more overlooked, something almost nobody talks about. The position of your body during sleep has a direct effect on how well your circulation functions overnight. Sleeping in certain positions can compress veins, restrict blood return from the legs to the heart, and leave fluid pooled in the lower limbs by morning. That swelling you notice in your ankles or feet, it very often traces back not to what you ate, but to how you slept. Small things, quiet things, things that seem too simple to matter. But this is exactly how the body works. It is not dramatic. It is not sudden. It is built from small patterns, repeated night after night, week after week, until one morning you realize that getting out of bed has become something you dread rather than something you simply do. And right now, right in this moment, you are closer to understanding why than you have ever been before. Because once you know what is driving these morning signals, you can begin to change them, gently, realistically, without turning your life upside down. And the change, when it comes, feels nothing short of remarkable. So now you know the truth. Those difficult mornings are not just bad luck. They are not simply the price of getting older. They are a conversation your body is trying to have with you. And today, finally, you are listening. So let's finish this properly. Let's talk about what you can actually do. Starting tonight, starting tomorrow morning, in your own home, in your own rhythm, without any dramatic changes or impossible routines. The very first thing, and please don't underestimate this because it sounds simple, is how you wake up. Most people, the moment consciousness returns, immediately try to stand. They swing their legs over the side of the bed and push themselves upright before their body has had even 30 seconds to adjust. And in those 30 seconds, they skip. Their blood pressure hasn't stabilized, their joints haven't received fresh fluid yet, their nervous system is still mid-transition. This is where a lot of unnecessary pain begins. Not from illness, not from injury, simply from moving too fast out of a system that needed just a little more time. Tomorrow morning, try something different. Before you even think about standing, lie still for 1 full minute. Wiggle your toes. Rotate your ankles slowly in gentle circles. Flex and release your calf muscles. These are small movements, almost invisible from the outside, but inside, they are doing something very significant. They are activating the muscle pump in your lower legs, the natural mechanism your body uses to push blood back upward from the feet toward the heart. This one small habit, done consistently every morning, can reduce morning swelling, ease stiffness in the joints, and make standing up feel dramatically less painful within just a few weeks. Then, before your feet touch the floor, sit at the edge of the bed for another minute. Not scrolling your phone, not rushing, just sitting. Let gravity begin its work gently. Let your circulation adjust. This is not laziness. This is intelligence. This is you working with your body instead of against it. Now let's talk about something that works during the day. Something that most people completely ignore until the damage is already done. Stillness is one of the greatest enemies of healthy circulation in older adults. Not dramatic, obvious stillness, not lying in bed all day, but the quiet, invisible stillness of sitting in a chair for 2, 3, 4 hours without moving, watching television in the evening, sitting at a table after a meal, riding in a car or on public transport. Every time you sit still for a long period, the veins in your lower legs are under pressure. Blood pools, fluid accumulates in the tissue, the valves inside your veins, tiny one-way doors that help push blood upward, begin to struggle under the weight of that pooled blood. The solution is not complicated. Every 45 minutes to an hour, simply stand up, walk to the kitchen, walk to the window, walk to the hallway and back. Even 30 steps is enough to restart the circulation, give those vein valves a chance to reset, and prevent the pooling that leads to tomorrow morning's swelling and stiffness. Set a quiet reminder if you need to. Make it a habit the same way you make tea at a certain time, or take your evening walk at a certain hour. The body responds beautifully to rhythm. Give it rhythm, and it will reward you. Now, water. This one surprises people. Many older adults quietly reduce how much they drink during the day, not because they don't know water is important, but because of concerns about the bathroom, about urgency, about inconvenience. This is completely understandable, but the consequence is blood that becomes thicker and slower, joints that lose their cushioning fluid, nerves that become more sensitive and reactive, and mornings that feel heavier and harder than they need to. You do not need to drink enormous amounts, but sipping water consistently throughout the day, small amounts, regularly, rather than large amounts all at once, keeps the blood flowing well, keeps the tissue hydrated, and makes a genuine difference in how the body functions by the time morning comes. And speaking of morning, let's talk about warmth one final time. If your feet are cold when you wake up, your circulation has been struggling overnight. Warm socks before bed, especially in cooler weather, are not an old-fashioned idea. They are genuinely effective. Warm feet mean open blood vessels. Open blood vessels mean better circulation overnight. Better circulation overnight means a gentler, easier morning. It is that direct. That simple. Now here is the piece that ties everything together. And this is the part I want you to remember above everything else. Your body is not working against you. It never has been. Every symptom, every signal, every difficult morning, it is all your body doing its absolute best to communicate with you, to tell you where it needs more support, where it needs more warmth, more movement, more rest, more care. The mistake is not in having these symptoms. The mistake is in ignoring them, in deciding they are just part of life and moving on without listening. Because the people who listen, the people who make small, consistent, intelligent changes, are the ones who find themselves 6 months from now waking up differently, standing up easier, moving through their mornings with less pain, less heaviness, less dread, not because they found some miracle, but because they stopped fighting their body and started working with it. You woke up this morning with a body that has carried you through decades of life, through winters and summers, through hard years and good ones, through everything. It deserves to be listened to. And now, you know how to listen. Take care of yourself. You are worth it, and your best mornings may still be ahead of you.